welcome to SecondsOut ReFLEXions. I'm Danny Flexen. Here every Monday, of course, 4:30 PM to assess what's gone on the weekend just gone in boxing. Huge story, of course, and one that everyone's going to be talking about. We have a new unified world heavyweight champion on Andy Ruiz Jr., the portly, but as it turns out, immensely talented Californian who came in at 5 weeks' notice for Jarrell Miller, 3 times a loser when it comes to drug tests, unfortunately for him, and unseated in a massive upset Anthony Joshua on Saturday night, Madison Square Garden, New York. People still reeling from it, articles going around, what went wrong, what went right, in Ruiz's case, of course. I've jumped in on the act as well, of course, who wouldn't? If you want to read my 5 reasons why Joshua lost and 3 things he should do next, and why wouldn't you? It's on the SecondsOut website, SecondsOut.com right now. Have a look at that. Comment on our social media. Let me know what you think. We don't have comments on the site. Cheap plug out of the way. Massive shock to everyone, but I guess Ruiz Jr. and some of his closest team. I mean, we knew, despite his appearances, he was a talented fighter with fast hands and a clever and intelligent fighter. But we just felt that him at his best versus Joshua at his best would be a one-sided contest. And it turned out that way. Unfortunately for Joshua, it turned out to be one-sided in Ruiz's favour. I think what we saw was Ruiz performing above a level that he'd done in the past against Joseph Parker. He was very good early on, but then he let Parker rally in the middle rounds and kind of lost control of the fight a little bit. And that's why a very, very tight decision out in Auckland, in New Zealand and Parker's home country, went against him. This time he was a lot more consistent. He was a lot more clinical, a lot more accurate. And I think that was important. But also Joshua didn't seem to be himself. And I'm not an excuse maker. I'm not one of these British Joshua nut huggers, I think they like to call him in America, who's just like, yeah, it can't be anything Ruiz did well. Joshua must have had an off night. You know, he didn't seem great all fight week. He seemed a bit off. He seemed a bit aloof. Didn't seem his usual self. There was swelling around his face that our guy Radio Raheem asked him about. He didn't seem keen to talk about it before the fight. After the fight, a lot of people have said he seemed a bit too comfortable with the loss. I'm not sure I'll go into that, but there were also the scenes of Joshua's dad post-fight trying to have a go at Eddie Hearn. Not sure what all that was about. But it all suggests that not everything was quite right in Team Joshua that week. For his part, and credit to him, he's taken the responsibility on himself. He said he'll come back stronger. He's given all the credit to Ruiz. Great thing to do. And Ruiz was fantastic. He was accurate, as I've said. He was fast, as was advertised. He was consistent. And he made Joshua fight his fight rather than the other way around. Joshua came out at the start trying to box, trying to dictate the pace. But after knocking Ruiz down in the 3rd round, coming forward, got caught himself, went down twice in round 3. And I think after that, he said himself, shot to the top of the head, never really recovered. And then he was just fighting Ruiz's fight, engaging in close quarters, taking too many body shots, taking too many shots full stop. And just, engaged too much. He seemed to be kind of starting to find his way. Rounds 5, 6, and then end of round 6, obviously he was hurt. Round 7, dropped a further 2 times. Bit of controversy over the finish. No disagreement with what the referee did, but did Joshua want to carry on or didn't he? Said yes to the ref, but his body language indicated otherwise. Ref made 100% the right decision, and Joshua agreed with that afterwards himself. Lot of talk since that Joshua should maybe change trainers. Don't agree with that at all. I think Robert McCracken's an excellent trainer. I think he's proved it in the past with Joshua, Carl Froch, GB Amateur squad. I think he was giving Joshua the right advice, both before the fight and during the fight. I just don't think Joshua was following it on all occasions. And I think once he took those equilibrium shattering shots in the 3rd round, I think it was very hard for him to follow a game plan after that. I wouldn't say he didn't know where he was, but he certainly didn't know what the game plan was anymore. So I don't think he should dump McCracken. I think he should certainly be more active. Last time he was out was September last year against Alexander Povetkin, whereas Ruiz came in at short notice, but he had a fight just 6 weeks before against Alexander Dimitrenko. And that matters, sharpening your tools, getting your distance right, things like that. It helps, sparring, but it helps if you've had active competition. So be a bit more active, maybe take a fight in the interim, maybe go into an immediate rematch, stick to the game plan next time and hope it goes your way. But full congratulations to Andy Ruiz Jr. He was excellent on the night. If he continues performing at the level he showed against Joshua, he's going to be a very, very hard man to beat. Thrown the heavyweight world on its head, of course, though. Also on the show, I should recount some of the other major happenings on the bill. Katie Taylor became undisputed female lightweight champion, but looked very fortunate to get the decision over Belgium's WBC champion Delphine Persoon. Persoon certainly looked hard done by. She really brought the fight from the middle rounds to the end, and it looked like she might have just nicked the decision, but the judges didn't see it that way. Josh Kelly was held to a draw by Ray Robinson. We said earlier last week that it was a 50-50 fight, so no major surprise there. Kelly will be disappointed, but Robinson's a very, very good fighter. Tommy Coyle came up just short, unfortunately for him, against Chris Algieri, who was too big, too good, in Coyle's own words. Jamie Moore, compassionate trainer, pulled Coyle out when he had nothing left to give. 100% again, the right decision. Competitive early on, but Algieri pulled away. Good fight to watch. Callum Smith, of course, defended his WBA super middleweight title for the first time, destroying Hassan and Dam spectacularly, as he was kind of expected to do. But still, fair play to him, he got the job done. As did light heavyweight prospect Joshua Buatsi, who smashed Marco Antonio Periban to pieces. Periban's seen better days, Buatsi's a lot bigger. Said himself he gives himself less than a 5 out of 10 for the performance because he got a bit reckless in trying to finish the job. But it would have made the American public sit up and take notice, and I guess that was the mission anyway. Before I go, I should just say as well, there was another bill on Saturday night, this one in Cardiff. Craig Evans got a repeat victory over Stephen Ormond. What else? Oh, and of course the main event saw Jay Harris win the vacant Commonwealth flyweight title against Angel Moreno. Beat him at least as clearly as Charlie Edwards did in Moreno's WBC title challenge recently. It's a great win for Jay Harris. He hasn't been as active as he'd have liked in the past few years. So let's hope he can now get a bit of momentum behind him with that European title, which of course guarantees a decent ranking with the WBC as well. Kieran Gethin also retained his Welsh title on the bill against Craig Woodruff. Slightly contentious decision in that one, but again, a good fight to watch. Let us know what you think below. There's so much to talk about this week. Really like it when you engage with this vlog, and I can answer some of your stuff as well, as long as it's not about, my looks, my dress sense, my front room, all that sort of stuff. I mean, you can say it, but I probably won't reply to it. But if you want to talk about Joshua, what happens next for the heavyweight division? Why do you think Joshua lost? Why did Ruiz raise his game? And yeah, like I say, what happens next? Love to hear from you. We'll see you obviously next week for ReFLEXions, 4:30 PM on Monday, and we'll be back this Thursday at 4:30 PM for FlexPectations, looking ahead to Gennady Golovkin against Steve Rolls, among other fights. See you soon.